G'day mates, Nate the Aussie here. Well, yeah, it's been a really long time. A couple of years, to be exact. People were commenting, saying, okay, this is down, channel's dead, whatever, where's he gone, what's happening, nothing's happening. And to be honest, they can't be blamed for thinking that. I have a bit of explaining to do. First things first is a lot of stuff has been happening since the last time I posted a video. One thing is I've been studying a master's in teaching history and English, so that's interesting. And I also got engaged on the 15th of June this year, so that's another amazing thing as well. Very surreal planning wedding stuff. Wedding has always been something that's been in the future, not something that's happening now. Whereas now, boom, okay, it's happening. So 26th of June next year, that's when the wedding's going to be. Really exciting. But enough of that, enough about me. Now on to sort of what's going on with videos. Because there's been a lot of development in terms of what I've been doing work-wise, what I've been doing study-wise, and so on, there's obviously not been a lot of time to make content for YouTube, as I'm sure you can understand. And I have mentioned this previously in another video.
Not quit YouTube. I'm gonna say that right now. I've not quit YouTube, guys. But I'm just saying that my uploads are very irregular due to things that I have a higher priority on.
Basically that YouTube's not the biggest priority for me, mainly because it's not my job. It's a hobby that I do on the side to sort of chat with you guys and interact with you guys, give you interesting content and that kind of stuff. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to think of a way that I could still publish content, but not be too crazy that it would get in the way of the other stuff in my life that's sort of a bit more important, that takes priority. And one of the things that clicked with me is history stuff. Now, things like challenges and so on, like, I'll still try and do those if I have time, but those are much harder to organize. I was trying to figure out a way that I could still publish content on YouTube while at the same time sort of allowing time for things that are more important, will take priority in my life, like work and family and so on. And one of the ideas that came up, as I said before, is history, because and I have mentioned this before, history is probably one of my, if not my biggest passions, especially in sort of the area of living history, historical reenactment and things like that. It's been a result of a lot of research projects of mine. I've been focusing a lot on it when writing documents on historical education and things like that. It's a massive passion of mine, and I thought that that could be something that I could do, that I could share with you guys, show some interesting content, while at the same time it's not something that requires as much crazy preparation as, say, other things would. Because to be honest, I can't make gaming videos, I don't have the PC for that, I don't really have the spare budget to buy equipment for that, and there's no point in me spending all that money if this is not something that I'm making any money from, or it's not really my job, if that makes sense. Basically what I've got is I am planning to look at historical content. So we're looking at things like maybe historical mysteries, sort of interesting videos looking at combat styles. That's one of the things that I like studying. I love studying, I love looking at HEMA, historical European martial arts, if you don't know what that is. I also love looking at Japanese sword fighting styles, because that's one of the eras I look at. I look at the late 16th century, the Azuchi Momoyama Jidai. Apologies for my crappy pronunciation. And from when I've been looking at channel creators like Metatron, Shadowversity, Scalagrim, these kinds of guys, it sort of made me think, well, I could probably get in on this, because this is an area that I'm super passionate in as well. Obviously, to an extent, I'm not a professor, and I'm going to make that clear, but this is something that I'm passionate about, so I thought I can share some videos on. So, enough blathering. That's the kind of stuff that I'm going to be looking at. If this is something that you are really not interested in, and you're really just here for the challenges, sorry, I can't really do much more than that. I apologize. And again, if it's not really your thing, and you unsubscribe, That's cool. I'm completely chill with that. I'm not really stressed about that. But if this does sound something like you're interested in, definitely stick around because there are some interesting things coming your way. One of them is actually this is an announcement that I wanted to share with you guys. This is a study that I'm doing with another living history group that is called Company of the Phoenix. And they focus on, if I remember correctly, early to mid 15th century European. I don't know where exactly in Europe they're focusing on. I believe it's somewhere in Central Europe, but I could be wrong. But basically they're looking at that, and their marshal, so their combat instructor, he is focusing predominantly on German longsword. And I predominantly focus on, not only, but predominantly sort of look at and study Katori Shinto Ryu, which is a style that first appeared in the 15th century in Japan, but then continued through into the period that I reenact as well. And what we're doing is we're working together to create I suppose you could say, a fight scene between, like a friendly duel between a 15th century Japanese swordsman and a 15th century longswordsman from Europe trained in German longsword tradition. I'll also share some footage of that here in this video as well, so you can kind of see the project. It's very rusty, it's obviously only just started, so don't expect anything crazy and outlandish, but we wanted to try and focus on making this not just look good, but also make it realistic and as realistic and believable as possible as well. So that's one of the projects that we're going to be looking at, and I'll be letting you guys know how that goes. But yeah, so that's the direction that this channel is going to be going sort of from now on, because I'd really also want to be a part of this community on YouTube that Metatron, Shad, Scal, all of these individuals have sort of worked together to create. I would really love to contribute to that because it seems like a really good community, and it's something that I very much respect, and it's also something I'm passionate about. So without further ado, that's where the channel is going, and hopefully I'll be providing some more regular updates. It's not going to be videos every single week, obviously. This is going to be something that's sort of uploading sporadically, but don't get me wrong, I will still update you guys on how things are going, and there'll be some interesting projects and videos coming your way to do with history. But until then, I'll see you mates in the next video. Bye! Thanks for sticking around.